What's up, guys? This is Corey Baker from Baker Forge and Tool. In my business, we do tons of heavy grinding every single day, and we needed a grinder that could take abuse and keep on trucking without slowing down billet production. The Ameribraid variable speed 2x72 is just that. All heavy-duty parts and framing with well-thought-out accessories that are easy to use and not bogged down with lots of tiny parts. By far, the best accessory item that Ameribraid sells is their surface grinding attachment. It is absolutely foolproof and the best in the industry. With quick-release magnet system, there is no prying your workpiece off the platen. Very fast to slap a billet or a knife onto the table, engage magnets, and start surfacing with precise increments. On top of all of this, their customer support is outstanding. Eric and Kevin are always available and fast to help with any situation. If you're in the market for a top-of-the-line grinder, or maybe just an accessory to add to your existing setup, go to ameribraid.com and use the code HUSTLE100 for $100 off any grinder package. All right, next up, the Hustle and Grind Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hustle and Grind podcast. We are here. I'm Noah Bloomberg from Entiat River Forge, Ryan from Ryan Chadmore Knife Works, and Justin Lamoureux from Rainy Day Forge. How we doing, boys?
You said it right. Damn you, Brian Cohn.
It's Lamoureux, is that right? Or
No rooks.
No. Why is there an X on the end? I don't understand. I'm American. That doesn't make sense.
Shoot. Yeah, it's a French name, so.
Well, welcome, Justin. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Let's just go ahead and real quick, let's just go through how everybody's week's been going. I'm going to go ahead and go first because I got to tell everybody that I got my new Ameribraid Fastback set up and running in my shop. And I am freaking psyched. When these guys first came on the podcast, obviously, like, I've heard of them, I know who they are, but I'd never like held any of their products in my hands. And then I started getting pretty excited when I was looking at, all of their content and like how much they really care about their products and stuff. I got to tell you guys, I'm pretty convinced that this is the best grinder on the market right now. I've been using it for a couple days now, and I just got my platen from them. I had tried to rig up my old platen to work on their machine. It worked okay, and I had my contact wheel and everything going, but I got their flat platen. I got one of their work rests, which is this adorable little thing. They have a bigger one. They have a couple of different ones. I got the small one because I just kind of I don't need a big work table. So I got that thing, and I freaking love this machine. Like I could go on for a while about all the different things that I love about it, but
what is the Fastback?
So the Fastback, it's pretty much their top of the line grinder, and it has a couple of cool features. Okay. The one thing that I will say, when I first was looking at their grinders, they have a latch mechanism for the tension arm. So you pull the tension arm down and it automatically latches, and then you just have to undo that when you want to put the tension back into your belt. And honestly, like, I thought that was kind of gimmicky when I first saw it. I was like, man, I really don't feel like I want a latch there. After using it for a couple of days, I got to say, I think that's the best feature on the machine. Like, you know how freaking sweet that thing is to just be able to go ka-chunk. I pull my belt off, go over, hang it up on my wall, grab my next belt, go back over and just slide the new one back on, unlatch it, and it's already perfectly set with the tension. And the other thing is that, like, when you're swapping out arms, let's say you latch it down, you pull your other one out, you put your new arm in, you take up the slack in the belt, tighten it up, and then when you unlatch it, it's already perfect, like exactly the tension that you want every single time.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I tried making one for my grinder probably a couple of years ago, and I just couldn't get it. Like the angles and everything, the way my grinder is, I just couldn't make it happen. So yeah, I got to look into a grinder eventually.
Well, if you go to Ameribraid and use code HUSTLE100, you can get yourself $100 off their chassis or any of their grinder packages.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And like I said, I mean, if you're like me and you already have a motor and a VFD and you just want to upgrade your chassis, it's $675 with that code, and that doesn't put it that
That's
far
good.
above a lot of DIY kits, and it puts it well below other grinders that are out there on the market that don't come the way that this. I mean, this thing comes fully built, assembled, ready to go, powder coated. It's a phenomenal machine, and I'm
I
like I
just
say, I'm
need to
pretty
hook
sure.
up with Ryan's accountant so he can tell my wife to buy more tools.
That was stressful, man. I was sitting there with the tax guy, and he's like, "So how much was your laptop?" And I'm like, "Honey, cover your ears." and he's like, "How much was this? And how much was this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't told her any of this."
Right. I
Yeah.
usually go through that stuff with my wife, but it's sometimes after the fact. Or if it's a big purchase, I'll be like, "Hey, honey, my computer
Yeah.
sucks and I need a new one to edit. So here's a few options." And she's always like, "Just buy the one where you're not going to have to replace it in a year or complain about it over the next 2 years." So she's pretty awesome for that.
I'm
Yeah, my
pretty
wife's
happy with the one I've got, but the one I got now.
Awesome.
the wife or the grinder. What are we talking about here?
Not the grinder. So I got a special delivery from Ameribraid too,
Oh,
and it was a slack platen and a rotary platen,
I like
Ooh.
that.
and you have to take the arms. They use 1.5 inch square aluminum stock, so you have to take the arms down if you're running a Revolution, which I am. So I have yet to install it, but holding it in your hand, you can feel the build quality. It's unbelievable. When I opened the box and I picked it up, I was like, "Holy shit, this is beautiful." It's
Nice.
amazing. Even the
Nice.
bearings, like everything is just top quality. We're not saying that because they sponsor us. They wanted our honest opinions on this. If they sucked, we would tell you, and they don't. It's unbelievable. It's like and nothing else I've felt from. And I've bought stuff from everybody, and there's is a levels above the rest.
Well, and that's an important thing to note here while you're talking about that specifically, Ryan. I bought this grinder, so this isn't some sort of sponsorship deal where they sent me one and they're paying me to talk about them on the podcast. Like, I bought this grinder with my money because I wanted it,
Right.
and I'm giving you guys my honest feedback on it. And we talk about our sponsors because we use them. We like the products that we have. We don't seek out or accept sponsorships from places that we don't actually want to use or that we don't actually believe in the quality of their products. So I think that's really important to have that integrity when you're on a podcast and you're shouting people out constantly. You're talking about it, that the people that you're talking about not only make good quality products, but have integrity and are, decent people that you want to support. So
People catch on pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
if you're repping bullshit and then they call you on it, and it's like, why would I listen to these guys anymore? You lose so much of your.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, reputation. So.
Yeah. So I got that set up this week. I'm doing some AEBL. I got some no scale from Lawrence, and I'm trying that out with the AEBL. I got a lot of great feedback. Thanks to everybody who gave me some feedback on how they use it on Instagram.
Okay.
Seems
what
like
is
some
it
pretty
called?
good stuff.
No scale?
Yeah, it's no scale. So it's a coating. You can use it on carbon and stainless, and basically it just keeps, if you're, I'm going to use it on like a lot of my Damascus that gets forged pretty close to shape. I don't want to worry about decarb or anything like that when I'm heat treating it. But I mainly bought it for my stainless because I found out really quick that I hate stainless foil.
Oh yeah.
It's just a pain. And I haven't even gotten cut by it yet. I know that's what everybody's always talking about, but I know it's coming. So it's just a pain to work with, and I didn't care for it. So I wanted to try out this no scale stuff. And Lawrence gave me some really good pointers on how he uses it and stuff. So I appreciate that. And I did one knife, test it out to see how it worked, and it seemed to work really good. So I'm looking forward to using that some more.
Is it the same kind of green stuff that smells like
No, that's
polish?
Condersol. This is like it almost looks like a mortar, like a really wet mortar.
Okay.
It looks like mud when it's dry.
I have both. I bought out a knife maker's shop here in Manitoba, and he gave me everything, which was awesome. Well,
Nice.
gave hashtag, yeah, not
Right.
hashtag, but whatever. Hashtag gave me everything.
Hashtag gave me everything.
And yeah, I've been experimenting with the Condersol, but I haven't played with the that mortar type stuff yet. But man, that Condersol, whew, yeah, you get pretty dizzy on that.
Is it
It's
is it pretty
strong.
potent stuff?
Yeah. That's like an end of day kind of stuff. You're like, all right, I'm ready to get in the house and just like coat your stuff and then head back in. So
Yeah, I didn't
I
notice
don't.
any sort of smell with this stuff. I can't
that's
remember
good.
exactly. It's ATP some numbers,
Right.
and yeah, you can find it on Maritime. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's just a no scale coating. And I've heard of good and bad things about those types of coatings in the past. I just wanted to try it out for myself to see how it worked for me, and
Nice. So far, so good.
so far so good. So I'm gonna try it on the rest of the. I got a batch of 8 steak knives that I'm making stainless, so I'll try it on all of those, and hopefully the rest of
Sweet.
them turn out as good as the first one. So
Good. I
but
I
like
had
yeah,
good
it.
luck with it. I used it on some Nitro V,
Oh,
and it seemed they're just as hard as when I use foil wrap. And I don't mind foil wrap. I've gotten used to it, but it's expensive. That shit,
it's
it adds up.
it's time consuming too, right? Like you got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
cut the material, fold it, fold the ends. Like there's all these steps where with the Condersol, I was just like, I originally I was like hanging the knife and then painting it on,
hmm
and that was time consuming. Now I just like lay it on the bench flat, paint the one side, head in the house, and just paint the other side the next day. Like there's a delay in the ability to do it, but the actual time consumption of doing it is way quicker. So
Yeah, that's what
well,
Noah Vachon uses. I wanted to try some. And
mhm.
Tobias Hangler told us about aerosol stuff that they developed over in the UK.
Oh, I
I've
want
heard of
that.
that too. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, an aerosol spray would be fantastic. Oh, who was it? It was Rodney Philman, I think, was telling me he actually takes that ATP stuff and he puts it in a spray gun and sprays it to get a nice
Oh,
even coating.
Oh.
interesting.
And my first thought was, well, that sounds like a lot of like prep and cleanup, but he didn't seem to think so. So I guess
And
if you're doing
that's
like a large batch, I mean, that probably wouldn't be too bad.
it's water soluble, so you can just wash it off, whatever you run it through.
That's a good
But
point.
Rodney, that's the sharp carpenter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, nice work out of his shop, eh?
Oh, for sure.
Hmm.
Shout out to Rodney.
Yeah.
He's given me a ton of advice on stabilizing. And not your normal run of the mill internet advice. Like his advice actually works. So
He's a cool dude. I've been talking to him a lot lately, and we actually have a little work thing going on that we'll be doing pretty. It'll be pretty fun later on. So keep you
oh,
guys posted on that.
speaking of work things, I got a little collaboration raffle going with Mike Jones Knife and Tool. If
Yeah,
everybody
you do.
wants to head over to his page, check that out. We did a collaboration knife. It's been months in the works. Him and I both took our sweet times. And yeah, it came out awesome. He used some multicolored yellow cedar burl
Oh,
for the
cedar.
handle.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a little bit of a different handle style than he normally does, right?
Yeah, because I did the blade and it's full tang. So it was, I did a little
Mm.
switcheroony on him.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I
Nice.
changed up the shape a little bit, keep him on his toes. I just realized though that we're only running it till Monday, so it'll be
Oh
over by the
shit.
time this comes out, unless somebody watches it on YouTube tonight.
Hopefully.
That's a short raffle, man.
That's how he does them, but he's got 40,000 followers.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's nice. That's nice. That would
Well,
be
what else have
epic.
you had going on this week, Ryan?
um, I had my bandsaw last week, right?
Yeah. Have you
Yep.
used it?
Yeah, I played with that. It was missing a keyway on one of the shafts, so I started cutting and the blade stopped turning, and I was like, "What the hell?" But I can fix anything. Took me like 5 seconds. I have key stock everywhere because I have motors everywhere, so easy fix.
Yeah, I learned with the WFI2 podcast this last week that you can fix anything. That was quite the episode, man.
Thanks, man. Did you listen to both of them?
I did. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Just for the listeners, I haven't talked to Ryan about this at all. But that was an interesting podcast, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying like other people's aren't, but that was a very, very good show. You put a lot out there. It was good.
It was, oh man, I felt like weird afterwards. I was like, that first half got real dark, and I was like, fuck, nobody wants to listen to that. But
no, I don't think it got dark necessarily. It just like you got into your backstory, and I think people appreciate seeing the roots of different people. So
yeah,
you've got stories, so it's great.
Yeah.
I kept it pretty PG for Cone. You know,
I think PG-13 is good for Brian.
Yeah. But
I'm sure it could have gone a little further, but yeah, no, you told it well, and it was a really cool way to hear your backstory, and obviously stuff that I didn't know. So it was good. It was a good episode. Well
Thanks,
done,
man. Thanks.
Yeah,
it was one episode, and then we realized that the file was only like 15 megs too big.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, because there's limits on file size when you upload podcasts. And he was like, "What do I do?" I was like, "Split it in half, I guess, bro."
Yeah, he found he found a good spot to split it, and it made sense, and it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was running Foresight Chat with Lyndon, we'd often run over that size limit, and there's some like MP3 shrinking like websites. They'll take your file and just compress it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think me or Bcone know how to do that. So we got a two-parter in there.
Site. Yeah, two-parter was good because it was good length, and they were both entertaining.
I appreciate that. Justin, I got a lot of feedback on that episode.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand where you were like, oh, geez, like maybe I didn't want to do that, but it turned out really good. It was really entertaining, and it was good. It was a good.
Thanks,
it was one of those ones where you wanted to keep listening. Like you it was engaging, so it was good.
I have as we know, I have a tendency to go off on tangents. And I've always been like that, and I can't help it. And B-Cone was pretty good at wrangling me. Like, he'd let me go a little bit, and then he'd pull me back into what we were talking about. Sometimes I need that.
Good.
Whereas with the Bro Down Showdown with my brother, we both do that, and that's what feeds the entire conversation. And
it's just one long tangent.
Yeah, between two people, and it seems to be working. We get a lot of good feedback on that show now too, and listeners are growing. But it's not a safe for work show, and like it's not really safe for like old ladies or kids.
You don't want to market to everyone. Make a podcast for everyone, otherwise it's vanilla, and no one wants to like.
Yeah, it's called the Bro Down Showdown, a show for the bros by the bros.
Nice.
It's not, bruh.
It's funny. Do you guys have a central topic at all, or do you guys just randomly talk about whatever?
That's our normal conversation.
Okay,
we just have a normal conversation with microphones instead of just normally. But now we started like looking stuff up. Like when we're talking normally, we don't look stuff up. Maybe on our phones once in a while, but on the show, like Richie's like getting obsessed, and so he's got it all set up at the shop where we can like pull stuff up on the screen. And
sweet.
Yeah, he's getting pretty deep in the production side.
Nice. That's cool. Well, Justin, I like that shit. Yeah.
Justin, what's going on with you this week, man?
Myself, I'm relearning to grind.
Relearning?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I had a hard week. I redesigned a few knives for my web store, and I was like, okay, sweet. They're designed. I drew them out, put them in the computer, like so I could print out like a model of it and put it on like stencil material for in the shop, so I could reproduce it. But now that I've got them heat treated and I'm on the grinder, I'm like, oh man, this is hard again. So I ended up grinding. I ground out 5 knives. Yeah, 5 of them. And then Nick Tobin sent me a video of one of his knives, and he was like flexing the edge on a piece of steel. And I was like, shit, yeah, I'm too thick here. I need to thin these out. Okay. And by that time I was already like through all my grit progression.
Oh,
Okay,
geez.
fuck it. I'm gonna hate myself if I get to the end. I finish these knives and they don't cut well. So let's just go back to 60 grit, and let's grind these down. So I did that, and then I hand sanded. Well, I did all of them, and then I started hand sanding one of my knives, and I'm like, this is taking me forever. This sucks. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to the grinder again and run through like the higher grits and like try to get rid of as much of these like little grind scratches as possible. So I went like 3 times on the grinder with these knives, and I finished hand sanding today just before the episode. But 2 of them, I was like, no, I'm not hand sanding these. I'm just going to use the conditioning belts and see, like, is it worth it? Like all this hand sanding to, like, it's a beautiful finish, but so is conditioning belts. And conditioning belts, you're like, you're there for 5 minutes maybe, as opposed to like an hour.
Yeah.
We know
What?
we don't know how I feel about hand sanding blades.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. And have you
Machine
like,
finished.
have you lost business because, oh, these are like, you use conditioning belts, Brian? Like,
Not that I'm aware of.
yeah.
And basically, I just like, so I go up all the way through Trizac, like we've talked about,
Right?
and the conditioning belts are just kind of, I don't know, they kind of give it a softer look. That's all,
Yeah.
or
Well, they
cleaner, I guess.
I call them
They
like
clean it
cheater
up.
belts. They hide everything, right? Like if you have
Yeah.
a couple micro scratches there, they're there, and as soon as you start hand sanding them, they're gonna like really
Pop out.
pop. But if
Yep.
you like just conditioning belt, that's just like camouflaging everything. So I've got a mix in my run. I've got 2 that are conditioned, and then the 3 others are hand sanded.
What kind of knives are these, and what kind of steel?
They're all AEBL, and they are more Japanese style knives. So I've got a Santoku and 2 Nakiri and a petty knife as well. So
Nice.
Well, those are all
Yeah.
knives that look good with a belt finish, I think.
yeah.
It
You know,
also
and-
comes down to, are your knives priced at a belt finish, or are they priced at a hand sanded finish? Because those are 2 separate things. A hand sanded
True.
knife should be a lot more money than a belt finish knife.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure that out for myself. I'm not there yet. My website's up, but like those knives aren't priced on there. There's no photos of them yet, so I need to get that on there. Like I'm hoping by Tuesday. So
Yeah.
Nice.
And
see.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
if you do it a lot, you can get a mirror polish on a belt.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I do. I like using the VSM Illumerons,
Mhm.
and they're
I've heard of those.
they're like textureless. They're smooth, and you can get a really nice finish on them. So I'll usually go through the 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 abrasives, the structured abrasives, like you do, and
Mhm.
then move on to the VSM ones to like really. You'll see like the little spots where you kind of missed your grinds and got like a deeper scratch, but you can work them out and get like a pretty shiny finish. So
I can't
I
remember
gotta
who it
just
was.
messing around.
Somebody was telling me about those Illumerons. I actually just got one from Lawrence the other day because I wanted to try one out. They're a little pricier than a standard belt, but supposedly you get a little bit more life out of them. So
Yes,
that's
you
why
do.
I'm trying them out.
They last a long time. Using them wet seems to help as well.
Oh,
It kind of like
okay.
raises up the abrasive.
I tried something new on. Did you guys see that big old Baker Fortune Tool copper Damascus knife I did
Mhm.
with the purple handle?
the crazy portal handle.
Yeah, I wanted like the grains in the metal to pop, but I didn't want to take the blade to my buffing wheel.
Okay.
So I got you know those roll-lock discs that go on die grinders and angle grinders?
Okay.
Or the little like angle grinders?
Yeah.
I got wool ones.
Yeah.
And I used little wool polishing pads for it. They're like half-inch thick, so they're plenty thick.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Oh, what the hell is... I got it right here. Hold on. It's this... I can't remember the name of this stuff.
Yeah, I've done that before too. You can take pads for underneath like table slides or chair slides. And just stick them onto the die grinder pad, like the ones that twist on. And they'll stick on there, and then you just hit it on your green buffing compound. Just go down the blade.
I use semi-chrome polish.
Oh,
this stuff.
Like SEMI?
SIMI, chrome, and then the word polish. And it's not food safe. So you have to like thoroughly wash the blade afterwards. But it took out all those like deep hidden carbides and got everything to really pop. And then I washed it and re-etched it. And it looked amazing. Makes a mess and it stinks. Semi-chrome polish.
Something to try out.
All right.
Yes. Polishing paste.
Well, yeah. So I've actually been kind of
horrible
considering the whole belt finish thing. One thing I noticed actually just today when I was doing some bevels on an AEBL knife is like, man, like even at the rougher grits, like I don't know if it's just the different platen or what, but I'm getting such cleaner grinds. Like I almost like I've never felt like I could get like a solid belt finish before. Like I've always done like a hand rub finish. So I don't know if it's just the grinder or what, but or it might be the material. That AABL grinds a lot different than a lot of the carbon steels that I'm used to using. And it seems like you could get like such a great belt finish out of it that I might actually start trying to do that on some knives again.
Yeah, you can get, I don't know why, but for some reason with me, my lines with AEBL are much crisper than I can achieve with like a high carbon steel.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. It was kind of odd. I don't know what the reasoning was, but yeah. Who knows? I might actually try some belt finishes again.
Yeah.
Do it.
I got to start going that route because the hand sanding is kind of driving me insane. So,
well,
it's vanity bad.
I don't think hand sanding blades is feasible for like running a business. You know what I mean? Because you're doing hours and hours of work for something that's just aesthetics that the customer might not even notice.
No. And I've got like a knife here that I've made a few years ago, and we use it personally in our kitchen. And I just went with like just blade finish on the grinder, and like it's great. Like I'm not missing the fact that I didn't hand sand it at all. It looks fabulous. So
I do a lot of Damascus, so everything kind of has to be hand sanded for those. But for the mono steel stuff, especially the stainless, it doesn't really matter as much.
Kind of like, I don't know. I like the Damascus because you can get away with not doing that kind of stuff sometimes. Like it hides so many blemishes that you can like.
Yeah, but if you want to get a nice deep etch and you want it to look pretty, like you really got to take your time with it. I don't know, in my opinion.
It's why nobody gets black on black business cards, because you can't see black on black. So if you etch it black, all the scratches disappear.
That's why I like stonewash finishes. Stonewash finishes are that for me. Not Damascus, but stonewash, yes.
That I haven't tried. I have to go down that path once.
It's a good finish. I like my stonewash, but
I'm not a huge fan of etching in general. It's kind of gross and it's a process. And I mean, for Damascus, obviously you have to, but like to just etch a monosteel blade because you want it dark, unless somebody asks for it, I'm probably not going to do it.
Looking at the gator piss, like the videos that I've seen, it looks like you kind of avoid a lot of the mess. Like you're not getting all the soot or whatever, the oxides on the blades, and like you're you're etching, you're sanding, you're etching, you're sanding, your fingers are all black, and it's like, ugh.
It
But the gator
stinks.
piston, it's like it just comes out really nice.
Yeah. You have some
Well,
gator piss, don't you, Noah?
I do. Yeah. I still haven't actually like finished a Damascus blade since I've had it, but I've used it for a couple test etches and seems to work great. So
Nice.
I'll be doing a Damascus blade here soon. I've got I'm like 4 or 5 forge welds into my current project, and I've got two more forge welds before it's done. So
Nice.
it's a very intricate pattern that I forced upon myself for no reason other than I wanted to see how far I could take it. So
it's good. Got to challenge yourself, man.
yeah, it should be cool when it's done. And if it's not, then I'll just forget it ever happened and move on.
It'll look good.
I'll just have wasted a couple of weeks of work. No big deal.
Right.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Justin. Well, hey, on this show, sometimes we do a little bit of this or that questioning, just to kind of get into our guest's mind a little bit. So I've got a list of questions here, and this is going to be quick right off the bat. I'm going to list out 2 things. You have to just pick one of them, and that's your answer.
Can I do the Nick Tobin? Neither.
No, you can't.
You sound just like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to change up my questions a little bit because of him. All right, are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Quantity or quality?
Quantity.
Whiskey or vodka?
Vodka.
Pizza Hurricane or maple syrup flood?
Ooh, Pizza Hurricane.
Anchovies on pizza or Peeps candy?
Oh, I'll take the candy. I've had the anchovy. That shit's awful.
Flying or turning invisible?
Oh, let's go flying.
Cooking or to be cooked for?
Oh, cooking.
Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Oh, that's a tough one. Both are pretty uncomfortable. Let's go too hot.
Clean shop or messy shop?
Clean.
Intense pain for 10 minutes or dull pain for 1 day?
Let's go with the 10.
Massive success by accident or modest success on purpose?
Purpose.
Outer space or the bottom of the sea?
Oh, let's go to the bottom of the sea.
There we go. That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
I love being underwater. Goggles. Yeah, that's fun. Seeing fish. That's my jam.
Outer space, man, all the way.
Aliens? No way. That shit's scary.
Oh, there's aliens on the bottom of the sea too, man. You just don't know about it because it's all unexplored.
True.
That's like one of the only things I'm afraid of is the ocean. I won't swim in the ocean. Yeah, it's like one of my things. That and bats. I hate bats.
Yeah. I was in Australia probably like 20 years ago. And you're from Canada and the prairies. There's no oceans here. So one of the last days, I'm like, okay, I'm going surfing. Like, I got to do this. I can't not surf in Australia. So rent the board. I get out there, paddle out, and I look down. The water's crystal clear. And I see like my shadow on the sand down below. And I'm like, holy shit, what the hell is that? Oh, it's me. All right. Okay. We're safe. We're safe out here.
We're good.
Yeah. And I didn't know about rash guards. So when you're paddling out there, your chest is rubbing on the board. So I was bare chested. Dude, I had both my nipples were like scabs. They were just raw and flat. I was worried the nipples wouldn't come back at all. Like they were like, it was awful. I was bleeding.
That happened to me too. I went surfing in Hawaii one time, and I took these lessons right off of like Waikiki Beach.
Yeah,
and I mean, you had to paddle out so far because like we weren't like right on Waikiki. We're a little bit further down the beach, and so we had to paddle up the beach and then out past where the waves break. And I mean, you're paddling so far out there, and you're just rubbing on that board the whole time, and you have no idea until you
No.
get back and you get out of the water and your whole chest is just red.
Yeah.
Oh, it was brutal for days, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife was. We were walking around. I was holding my shirt away from my body, and she's like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "I'm in pain here." Like, yeah, but you look kind of silly. I'm like, I don't care if I look silly right now. Like, it hurts.
Yeah, walking around faith healing constantly.
Yeah.
Little South Park reference there for those of you who caught it.
I've been watching American Dad. Like a few weeks
Nice.
ago, Ryan, you posted something about favorite TV shows, or no, you posted something about.
It was a clip from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's what it was, which I love. It's so funny. And then I said, "Oh, that's like my top show." And then you said, "Oh, American Dad's pretty good." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll check it out." So that's my go to bed TV show now. I'll fall asleep halfway through an episode, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's good background noise too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
For me, that's Top Gear. I don't know if have you guys ever heard of Top Gear or the Grand Tour?
Yeah, yeah.
It's three British guys, Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond. And I have been falling asleep to that show for like the last couple of years. I don't know why. Like that's what I fall asleep to like every night.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I don't know
It's
why.
odd how you like certain shows allow you to fall asleep really quick. I used to do the Fortune Fire, put that on the TV, and I'd be like, I'd start watching it and out, and my wife would be like, "You got to stop putting that on." Like I end up watching Fortune Fire. I can't fall asleep, and I'm watching like these guys making knives, and I don't care about this show, and I'm like, oh, but I fall asleep so good.
Yeah. I
Drunk
used to do
History is
that.
a good show for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Drunk
that's
History is good.
hilarious.
I
yeah.
I used to do that with Forge and Fire until it got into like the later seasons where I think they purposefully got like less and less skilled smiths on the show to try
Yeah.
and create more drama. And I just get so angry watching it that I can't fall asleep to it anymore.
Yeah, it's too bad they went that route. I don't know if they got through like the stock of all the Smiths that were willing to go on the show, but after a while it was like it's like, okay, we've got a 1 year Smith. And I was like, I don't want to see a 1 year Smith. Like I want to see the guy who's been doing it for like 10, 15 years and can bust out something really pretty. But
I think the problem that they ran into is that all the Smiths that are good can't afford to take 2-3 weeks off of their shop, their job, to go on a show for maybe $10,000. Like
right.
the rest of the time is unpaid. And there's other people that have talked about this recently. But I mean,
you lose
it's a reality.
4,000 of it to taxes.
Oh
You
God.
got to pay taxes on it, and it's claimed as a lottery. So you lose like 40%.
I've heard it both ways. Mareko talked about that because he won the second time he went on there, and apparently I don't quote me on this, but I thought he mentioned that he didn't have to pay that particular tax bracket.
So maybe it's state by state.
I don't know.
Possibly.
But I just remember him saying something about that and how it wasn't a big deal for him. So I don't know for sure, but
well, as a Canadian, they won't come to Canada to film, so.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed that there's never any Canadians.
Show, you have to be in the States to film, and it was like, well,
your shop's up in Canada, so
yeah.
Speaking of Fortune Fire, let me ask you guys this. So we all know Fortune Fire's played a big role in like the growth of the knife community.
Yep.
Where do you think the knife community goes after the show's no longer a thing?
I think it goes away.
You think there's no more knife community?
No, I don't think it. I don't think the knife community disappears per se, but I don't think it continues to grow.
Do you think that's good or bad for serious knife makers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think there's going to be serious drawbacks and serious upsides because there's going to be no more because I hesitate to say this. There are, if I know you, if you're somebody that I've talked to, I'm not talking about you. Okay. There are some people in my area who make knives per se, and their customers look at their knives and like, oh, these are sweet hand forged knives, like forged in fire. And I would hesitate to call some of the things that they create hand forged knives. And that's not a knock on anybody. Everybody's been, at different skill levels in their making, like I started on my own. I taught myself, and I look on my old knives and I'm like, oh, geez, I'm so glad, I've come as far as I have. So I'm not knocking anybody. And like I said, if I talk to you, if I consider you a friend, like I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about some other stuff that I've seen out there. And I'm not trying to, be down on anybody, but there are certain people who get to a certain level and they're okay being at that level because their customers are happy with their work, and good for them for that. But I think once the forged and fire craze kind of goes away, those people that are okay being at that level are just going to kind of go away. They're not going to keep doing it. They don't have the drive that other people do to keep moving and keep learning and keep moving up. And so I think that'll be a benefit for the community in that you're going to have higher quality work, and customers are going to have the expectation that knives should meet a certain level. But at the same time, you're not going to have as much growth because you have innovation from having so many people in the community that everybody pushes each other to keep getting better and better and do new things and try new things. So I think that could be a potential drawback.
So basically, the short version is the weak ones are going to fall off.
Yeah, I mean, you could have said it that simply.
But that would be boring.
This is why my wife hates talking to me about like certain topics, because she says exactly what you just said. It's like, oh yeah, so that 10 minutes that you just spent talking could have been summed up in like one phrase, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so.
Sorry.
But what do you say we? I love that, Noah, because I'm like I'm the opposite. I like to like summarize it and keep it short and like a man of fewer words. But I'm attracted to people that can like
thank you.
Out their dialogue into like 5 minutes to say something very short. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's the podcast thing.
Yeah,
it is filling space. That's for sure.
Yes,
I am a solid space filler,
and I appreciate that, because I'll just sit here and stare at you.
He said, yeah.
Ryan, do we need an ad? I think we need an ad.
I got my cursor right on Mr. Lawrence Lake at Maritime Knife Supply. So
yeah, run it.
Hustle and Grind is sponsored by Maritime Knife Supply. Whether you're looking for steel, abrasives, handle material, forges, epoxy, or anything for making in general, Maritime Knife Supply has you covered. And in the US or Canada, they ship faster than the great Cobra chicken goosesses that their country is known for. Go to Maritime Knife Supply, and when you buy a 10-pack of belts, get 10% off. And tell them we sent you, eh?
I look forward to the goosesses to return. I'm looking forward to spring.
Is it offensive to a Canadian that Americans reference the great Cobra chickens?
No, I don't think so. Most Canadians don't care.
Nice.
I don't, anyway.
What about homicidal panda pigeons?
Homicidal panda pigeons? Is that like another word for the goose? Canada goose?
That's what I call them.
Oh, panda, because they're black and white. Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I don't care. They taste delicious. So,
are they good?
Yeah. Depends how you cook them. Mom has to cook them.
Oh, that'd be so cool to be able to eat your national bird. I've always wondered what eagle tasted like.
Oh, dude, we've got
oh my gosh,
2 huge bald eagles like in the yard across from the house here, and we've got this tiny little dog.
Oh man, there's something to behold, dude. Like a full-grown bald eagle is humongous.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I got a dog.
I can't believe you want to eat an eagle. Oh my gosh,
why not? Why
I
not?
don't know. Because it's the symbol of America. And because they're carnivores who eat like
Carry
dead
on.
fish. And
Yeah.
Yeah, they might not taste that good.
Well,
But
yeah.
chickens will
Depends how
eat
you
anything. You ever seen what a chicken will do to a mouse? Chickens eat meat too, and they're
Yeah.
delicious.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah.
Those are Canada's gooses. Majestic
And loud.
Honk,
and
honk.
loud. They freaking
Honk,
wake me
honk.
up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
well.
they just
Wow.
make noise for the fun of making noise.
Oh,
We've
they
gone
do.
off the rails here, boys.
You have. I've been
But
staying concise and consistent and to the point.
Okay, I
what do
want
you
to go
say
back
we?
to the last question though, because you were talking about like if Forge and Fire disappears, what happens? What was your opinion, Ryan?
Um, kind of similar to Noah's. I think it'll be good for some, bad for others.
Yeah, right, right.
I think it'll be.
I think for the market though, like the people that are buying, I don't know if if it would have much of an effect if all of a sudden like the Food Network disappeared and the food channels and that kind of stuff. I think that would have more an effect on the customers than if Forge and Fire went.
Are you
Yeah.
talking the culinary world or the knife making world
Yeah,
specifically?
culinary. Yeah, like I'm thinking of like who's actually buying, right? How
Right.
many people are buying because they saw Forge and Fire? Probably a good percentage, but the people that are buying are like, I want a knife, like a functional knife for the kitchen, for the woods, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are tired of disposable junk, which I
Yeah.
don't think that trend's going to go away anytime soon.
No.
And also, Fortune Fire has been around for so long, people aren't just going to forget.
No.
You know what I mean? And it's always going to be on streaming services. And so even if they cancel making new episodes, I mean, Neil Warren's still on Netflix, so.
They even put some of them on Disney Plus. I saw the other day there was a season on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so even if they cancel the show, I don't think it'll ever totally go away, at least not for quite a long time. But I think it'll turn into a survival of the fittest type deal where the market would change slightly and people making like functional blades or kitchenware are going to be okay, whereas people making like fantasy blades or things that, like, how many people are out there like using like sabers to chop down trees? It's you know what I mean?
Pretty rare.
Yeah. Like I'm building a sword oven and I'm like, should I build a sword oven? Because is there a market for swords? Like that's going through my head too. Or should I just do it because I've always wanted to do it and just
Exactly.
fucking do it?
Do it because you've always wanted to. I don't think,
yeah.
Well, you got to hit that right niche of like
Kyle Royer, and I am not Kyle Royer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want to build one. But yeah, I don't know what the sword market looks like, nor do I really want to. That's not what I wanted to do.
I know they're out there,
I'd
but
love to build a sword, but
like sword makers tend to they kind of have their own little community off the knife making community, like they're separate. And I don't know many like strictly sword makers, so I don't know what kind of like market there is for them. But I've always thought they were super cool.
Oh, hell
Ever
yeah.
since I was a little boy, wielding sticks, pretending it was a katana.
Heck yes.
Yeah, I got in trouble once because I hit a little kid in the back with a stick while he was riding down the street on his bike because I was pretending it was a sword.
Javelin, yeah. Took him off his bike.
I did, knocked him right off the bike. He was my buddy, but he cried. We were messing around.
Automatically feel bad, eh?
We were
shit, it worked. Oh no.
Jousting. Did you ever joust when you were on your bicycles with your friends?
No.
No.
I don't recommend it.
We used to have match wars where
Yeah.
me and my buddy would go shirtless. Yeah, and you'd take a book of matches and you peel off a paper match and you press your thumb on it and launch the match. And when that phosphorus is burning, if it touches you, it sticks to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shit.
it leaves like little tiny fucking burn holes in your body if you hit your buddy with them.
Ow.
Boys, man, like back in the 90s, what else did you have to do?
Oh,
I remember. I
yeah.
still remember the time I got smacked in the eye with a Roman candle projectile.
Ooh,
That was,
that's awful.
yeah. I think that was the end of the Roman candle wars for that day.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
We used to have bottle rocket fights, like the little tiny ones that just go phew, and pop and
Yeah.
pop. Would you shoot them at each other? They don't hurt, but yeah.
See, I didn't like those. We used to always just do the Roman candle wars because it's a repeating weapon. Like it.
Yeah.
Roman candles, you have to, or not the bottle rockets, you have to light each individual one. You have to time it right, and then you have to flick it just the right way for it to go at your buddy. Whereas the Roman candles, you just light it, point. It's great.
Yeah, that's true.
For this episode.
Yeah, do not try this at home.
Don't try this at home, kids. This is pure conjecture. We don't know exactly how this happens, but in theory, this could happen.
This is how American country boys grow up. I don't know if you knew that. They just like shoot stuff at each other.
It's the same.
Oh man.
Put on some
yeah. The thing with the bottle rocket wars was they were illegal then. So if you got some, you were like, it was like an occasion. You know what I mean? You'd like go out to the field and be like, we're gonna have a bottle rocket fight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've always been illegal here, but we can just go buy them on the reservations. So you can always get as many I mean, they're cheap too. I mean, you could stock up on bottle rockets for the year just around the 4th of July.
They legalized them here, but you can't have ones on a stick.
Then
so they come.
How is it a bottle rocket then?
They come in like a brick of 50, and you light the whole brick, and they're like doo, 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 doo.
Yeah, those aren't bottle rockets.
Which I suppose if you like taped it to a board or something, you could just aim it.
Ooh, yeah, that's a repeating weapon right there. Well, anyways, how would you guys like to play a little game of fake news?
Yeah, I'm ready. Florida man or fake
All
news.
Right. Actually, I don't think this is going to be a first. I don't think there's any mention of Florida in this entire one. This is going to be all new. So I have 3 stories here that I'm going to read off. 2 of them actually happened. One of them is entirely fake news, satire, completely made up, and you guys have to guess which one. So we start off with the headline. Man robbed of gun at gunpoint, guns down gun robber with spare gun.
America.
The next one reads,
insane.
Criminal caught after cutting off 13 man buns in one day, claims he was, quote, doing the Lord's work.
Sorry, that's hilarious.
And lastly, we have mother discovers her son's bride is her long-lost daughter after she spots birthmark on their wedding day, but marriage goes ahead anyways because the groom had been adopted.
Whoa.
Hey.
Spoiler alert.
All right, so to recap, we have man robbed at gunpoint, guns down, gun robber with spare gun. Criminal caught after cutting off 13 man buns in one day, claiming he was doing the Lord's work. And the mother discovers that her son's bride is her long-lost daughter after she spots birthmark, but the marriage goes ahead anyways because the groom was adopted.
Just for like my sake of faith in humanity, I'm gonna say the third one's fake.
And I'm gonna go with the man buns. I think one of those man bun wearing dudes would be like, "No, I'm taking you down," and it would end quicker than 13 man bun.
Yeah, you might be right.
All right, so Justin's going with the man buns, and Ryan's going with the long lost daughter one.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, you got it, buddy. Good job.
I thought it was a long lost daughter for a bit, but yeah, man bun.
Nope,
Oh,
that actually happened.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I like how neither one of you, I mean, knowing America, thought twice about the man gunning down the gun robber after being robbed of a gun at gunpoint.
No, that stuff happens on the daily.
Although I guess he had to go back to his truck to get his spare gun so that he could gun down the gun robber. So
yeah, you got to get your truck gun.
It's not like he had two of them on him at one point in time. So
no, you got your personal gun to get you to your truck gun, and then your truck gun gets you home to your rifle. Not that I know anything about that stuff. Anyways, you want to hear from
bless
Kermit?
America.
So I found out that Kermit the Frog was very quiet in our test play, so I increased him quite a bit. So you guys want to hear from Kermit?
Let's hear
Shout
Kermit.
out to our patrons.
Oh, yeah.
Hi ho. You're listening to the Hustle and Grind podcast, a podcast for all the makers out there hustling and grinding every day to turn their dreams into reality. If you'd like to show your support, you can go to patreon.com/hustle and grind. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us all keep hustling and grinding. And remember, every time H&G gets a new patron, an angel gets twins.
Thanks, Luke.
Jim Henson is just stoked on you guys, isn't he?
Yeah, we might have to pop in a couple different ones here every now and then to avoid a lawsuit.
That was awesome.
That was not Kermit the Frog. That was Kramit, voiced by our buddy Luke of Crafty Man Forge. Thanks,
Good job, Luke.
Thanks, Luke, and thanks to all of our patrons for helping to support us. We really appreciate you guys.
What are you guys sitting
It's awesome.
at for number of patrons right now?
26.
26. Solid.
26 people actually listen to this?
Oh, they sure do.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, I was busy for the last several months there, like I was saying, but this week in the shop, I like gobbled down like 3, 4, 5 of your episodes. They're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We got a new one.
Oh,
we got 27 now.
What? Awesome.
Let's shout out our new patron.
Wow. It is Alexander Sloat at Devlin Forge. Excellent. And Brian Hunt at Hidden Rose Forge is also a new one. Plus Will from Maine at Spruce Hill Studios.
Sweet.
All within the last month.
And how is it going on YouTube?
Slow. We're at like 51 subscribers.
Okay. Yeah.
So
nice. Hopefully
it takes 2 seconds to upload it, so it's not like a big deal.
No, not at all.
And if it sits there and then someday grows into a monetized page, then that'd be sweet. But if it doesn't, people can still go watch me smoke cigarettes.
Is a lot to monetize.
How do you spell Devlin Forge?
Devlin.
I think you need 1,000 followers and then like
5,000 watched hours.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. That's on my repair page that's monetized. That's what took the longest, was getting the watched hours.
Right.
So I kind of cheated. I threw some ASMR videos on there. Like I just like made a video of that was 1 minute long of rainfall, sound like it was 10 hours long.
Okay. Yeah.
Like sleepy sound videos. And then people
like yourself, like hitting the microphone, lighting cigarettes.
No, I did one that was rainfall and one that was a video of waves at the beach. My wife sent to me. Like she's like, "Oh, look at these pretty waves," and I threw it on YouTube and made it 10 hours long. And people put them on and then they shut their screens off so they can sleep to the sound.
Holy
so
shit.
it plays for hours and hours. So it like boosted me up there to get monetized.
YouTube hacks. Nice. I like it.
I might do more of them.
Why not?
Like if you go on YouTube and look in Box Fan ASMR. And
what?
It's like, it's just a 1 minute video of a box fan that they've looped the video to be like 12 hours long. And it's just a box fan. People like
right.
listening to box fans, I guess.
Amazing. I guess
Mhm.
getting that white noise.
Yeah.
People that need background noise. I guess that works. Cool.
I like
Good for
the
them.
campfire ones with like the beautiful backgrounds.
I thought about doing that in my wood stove, like just recording a minute of it crackling and
Mhm.
looping it.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody
You
should
guys should do that
do
with your forges.
grinder ASMR. Just somebody grinding a knife for hours and hours on end.
12 hours of grinding.
I put some grinding videos on Instagram, and they never really seem to do very hot.
Nah, I guess, yeah. What value is it giving anyone? On Instagram, anyway. On YouTube, if it's like meditational or ASMR type stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hot steel being squished is usually pretty good. I try and anytime I'm forging with the press, I usually try and take a quick video or something just to put it up there, and
Yeah.
sometimes it does pretty good.
I've gone down some hydraulic press rabbit holes where they crush like diamonds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I crushed a pop can in mine once. Oh, I crushed a golf ball. That was fun.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
The one I watched, they put a diamond out on it, and then like the ram came down and went over it, and then when they picked it up, the diamond was just embedded in the bottom of the ram.
Oh, cool.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because diamond's harder than steel.
Well, it must have been a pretty solid diamond with no inclusions or anything, because I mean, diamond's hard, but if there's, like inclusions in it and stuff, like there's weak spots, but
check out the hydraulic press channel.
All right, I'll have to.
They do like weird stuff too, like they crush a Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
Remember those toys from the 90s?
Yeah.
I cut one of those open one time, and it has like this weird maple syrupy stuff in it.
Oh yeah. Baker Forge has actually been doing some pretty good crush videos. They did a Kong, like the dog chew toy Kongs.
I saw that. It survived.
It was solid, man. Like, yeah. I mean, it was pretty jacked up, but I mean, they did more than just crush it. They like went after it. They used like the axe head drift, like pressed through it. Like they tried to destroy it hard. And it was still Kong shaped at the end, at the very least. Gotta say,
it survived the flat press. It just kind of like squirted out the sides and then retained its shape when it opened.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he did a coffee pot. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that one.
He should do a piece of micarta lengthwise.
Ooh.
Like I'll send him a block if he wants to do it.
Yeah, big block.
Put it in there.
Well, did you guys see the press that Cole Ironworks is working on?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so like my press is a 12-ton.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the bigger shops, you'll see like 25-ton, like big presses. They're working on a 120-ton press.
Wow.
This thing is massive. It had like 4 rams, like one on each corner that like comes like I can't even describe it, but yeah, anybody that follows Cole Ironworks, you probably know what I'm talking about. It was insane. I mean, just the crushing power. I don't know why you would need that much power, but I mean, if you can, why not?
Yeah. Well, some of the like artistic blacksmiths will use like massive like presses like that to get like super deformation. Crazy.
I wish Cole Ironworks would send me a press, even just a little baby one.
That'd be great, eh?
Then I don't have to build one.
Cole Ironworks, please send Ryan one. He'd love it.
Come on. We'll run ads for a whole year. Come on.
But I already have one. So what am I going to get out of this?
We'll figure something out. Yeah, he had to pay for it though.
Yeah, I bought mine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. Not like they're going to be like giving me a message this week. Hey, we heard your Hustle and Grind podcast, and we would like to send you a free piece of equipment.
And we're impressed. Yeah.
It was a great, informative episode.
I especially like the part where one of the hosts went on a 10-minute rant about what would happen if Forged in Fire went down.
Yeah. I've also thought about Yeah, about eating eagles. I've also wondered that.
You deep fry anything, really.
Oh yeah, somebody in the South can cook an eagle.
You're gonna get some
You
haters here,
can't
man.
eat eagles. Oh my gosh. Oh, this
Anyways,
is. Oh my gosh.
speaking of
It's time for
sponsors,
another
why don't
ad.
we? Yeah, why don't we
Uh,
just knock out Phoenix Abrasives here? Shout out to
Speaking of
them.
delicious birds, yeah.
I wonder if you could get a
Oh yeah, the
Phoenix.
Phoenix. See, that would be the key because the Phoenix is like unkillable, right? So you could eat it and then it would rise again, and then you could eat it the next day.
Unless it rose again inside your belly, and then it would be like Alien.
Nice.
Please just play the ad. I need to stop talking.
Hustle and Grind podcast is sponsored by Phoenix Abrasives, your one-stop abrasive shop. When you go to phoenixabrasives.com, click the shop icon in the upper right-hand corner to find all the abrasives you'll ever need. Check out the Incinerator 36 grit ceramic belts, along with the Trizact Gator belts that the hosts of Hustle and Grind use every day. When you check out, use code HUSTLE10 for 10% off your entire order.
There you go.
Thanks, Luke.
Phoenix Abrasives. Get yourself some Actitrox. Get yourself some of those VSM red Ferraris.
Mm-hmm.
Those things cut good and they stay cool. I was using that on my grinder this morning. Cutting some heat treated
Arctorox or the
AEBL.
other one?
Oh, the VSM red Ferraris.
Okay.
I really like how they stay cooler than other belts. So that's really good if you're grinding post heat treat, like I was on that AEBL. They make nice clean cuts and it stays nice and cool.
Yeah.
All my grinds are post heat treat.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and those are my go-to 36 grit belt.
Yeah.
I use them for 120 on some stuff too.
Justin, you use VSM too? Is that what you said?
Yes, I do. Yeah. VSM. I get my stuff from Maritime, not to take away from Phoenix Abrasives, but Maritime's in Canada, so I just order from them. Shipping's quick, so yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We love Lawrence too.
Yeah. He's messaged me a few times asking me about different products to like, should I put this in the shop or would you use this? And so he actually reaches out to different people to see what we think should be included in the shop. So you kind of get invested in his brand and his success. So
well, yeah, he started carrying the Pika products, the Pika pens and the Pika pencils. After we had Jeremy Ball was on the show talking about them, and I got one of those in my last order.
Nice.
While I was there,
I got one of the markers.
Yeah, same.
Solid.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on the pulse, right? He's listening. He's a knife maker, so he's not just some random company. So it's pretty awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I was talking about with that coating that I was trying out, he messaged me about it and was giving me his advice on how he uses it and stuff. And I mean, it was super helpful.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Definitely.
He bought me wonton tacos one day.
What? When?
What's a wonton taco?
From Applebee's a couple months ago. He took me out to lunch.
Fantastic.
Fucking bask in my glory, everyone. I went to lunch with Lawrence Lake a few months back.
Took Ryan
super
on a
nice
date.
guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Super nice guy.
What was the reason for the meetup?
He was just in my area.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Yep. He was like, I'm passing through Bangor. And I was like, oh, cool.
Lawrence, if you're ever in Washington,
Applebee's.
I won't take you to Applebee's, but I will take you to get real tacos.
I chose Applebee's because I worked at that store and I know that the food is of human grade consumption.
Okay. All right.
The one Applebee's.
You definitely have a different perspective when you've worked in a kitchen.
Yeah. There's places around here you do not want to take people out to lunch.
Right.
Yeah. Because when you're a cook, you know other cooks that work in other restaurants and they're like, bro.
That guy picks his nose.
Yeah. Never send food back. Don't ever complain. If my wife and I go out to eat and she's like, "Oh, I didn't order it like this," I'm like, "To eat it anyways. Don't say nothing."
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to eat at home. If we do go out, man, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
I just like
Yeah.
tacos, and there's a lot of really great taco places around here. So
Yeah. That's one thing in Winnipeg we don't have much of. We've got like a lot of international food, like international restaurants, but Mexican food, the tacos, not very good. Nothing to cry home about, or whatever the expression is. Call home about.
call home. Yeah, there you go. Well, Justin, we're getting towards the end of the show here. Do you want to talk about any special things you got coming out soon? Anything that might be on, TV or anything like that?
TV, television? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so back in probably April or May last year, when I was recording with Lyndon a few episodes back, he was on the show, which was a good episode. His doctor's appointment sounded pretty funny. It's probably not top of mind. I just listened to it, so
Okay.
anyway.
sorry. We're just like, all right, what are you talking about here?
Yeah. So we were talking about like doing a tour of going to different blacksmith shops and filming that and making like a documentary based on that. I'd reached out to producer here in Winnipeg to be able to do something like that, but it got revised into myself making 3 knives for 3 different people, and then documenting documenting the build, and then documenting part of their story, and then the delivery of the knife. So I have that coming out this week on Tuesday on Bell MTS 5 TV. So it's like Central Canada to Eastern Canada. And yeah, I'm kind of stressed out about what the results of this will be, if people are going to watch it or not. Um, is it going to increase my sales or not? But it was a big project. Lots of time at the computer, way too much time, actually. It kind of hurt my body. And you talking about fitness, Noah, I was like, oh God, yeah, I gotta get back into shape a little bit, because dude, yeah, just over Christmas and just pigging out and just sitting at the computer in my hobbit hole, just editing and trying to fix things that I screwed up filming. But all in all, it came together really well. I'm super stoked at the result. And yeah, it's
So
out on Tuesday.
have you seen the final cut, like the final result of what will be aired?
Uh, yeah. I did fucking everything.
You did. Oh, so you did everything. So you
Oh
basically,
yeah,
they told you what they wanted to see, and you had to edit, and you did everything up to the final result, and that's what's going to be
pretty
airing.
much. Like I've got one buddy that came out and filmed the knife deliveries. He was sick. He had COVID for one of the deliveries, so my wife filmed it. And he also did the animation for Fire and Slice. So it's got like a knife cut kind of through it, and the letters kind of split in two. Um, Other than that, like I produced it. I kind of wrote the stories for it.
Mm-hmm.
Filmed, edited. It's all self-documented. So I wanted to hang on to every penny I could with it.
Sure.
And because of that, it took me way longer. But in the end, I think it turned out as good as I could imagine. So I'm stoked on it.
Nice. What would you say the whole time frame was, like start to finish, that you spent on this?
Well, I started filming in September, because I was waiting. I got approved for it probably back in June, and got the camera at that point as well, because they loaned me out like 4K camera, like beautiful tripod, the microphones and all that. And they said, all right, come back when you're done. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for like the $40,000 of camera gear. I'll take it. Yeah. And basically, I was waiting for a clothing sponsor until like September. I was reaching out to different guys who I was hoping to get some digs for it, and got Mark's Work Warehouse. I don't know if they're in the States. They're probably just Canadian, to sponsor all the clothing, like a change of clothes for every delivery, change of clothes for every knife build, shoes. It was awesome. Like my closet
Nice.
looks great right now. Yeah, and so I was waiting on them to actually start because I didn't want to like look like a hobo working in my shop like I do most days.
I was gonna say like most of us would.
Yeah, totally. But I was like, okay, it's got to look good. So yeah, that includes myself. So waiting till September, and then I filmed all of September for the knives, the knife making, and the deliveries. So pretty much my first knife, I took 2 weeks to film, make, and then deliver. And then the subsequent weeks were like build 1 week, deliver on the weekend, build 1 week, deliver on the weekend. And then editing all of October, November, December, I took off to work in the shop. And then all of January, I edited again. So it's like,
Dang.
yeah, full days editing. But a lot of it was like I'd get to the end of my edit and then had learned a whole bunch of different things. So you go back to the beginning again, start re-editing, go back to the beginning, start editing again. It was, yeah, it was hard
So
on the
just like your
soul.
grinding process that you talked about at the beginning of the show.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Because you get to the end, you're like, yeah, it's good, but I know I can do better now. So you restart
Mm-hmm.
and restart. And then you think you have something pretty good and you send it out to the executives, and they send you notes back, and okay, I hear like an audio hiss in this particular file or clip, and all these like little notes. So you dig through it and then you find other ones that they missed. And it was it was hard on the brain, hard on the body. I'm glad it's
Sounds like
done.
a process, dude.
Yeah, well, I think it was the doing it by myself too. Like I've edited another, like a documentary that we filmed, or that I filmed about 10 years ago, but I did it with a partner. And as you're bouncing ideas off each other, it goes quicker, I think. And here it was, well, 3 different projects as opposed to one project, and doing it solo. So it took more than I expected, way more.
That sounds like a lot, man.
Mm,
Yeah, but they
you're gonna
paid
be
me to make
famous.
a commercial for my company, so I'm stoked.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I'm glad for you that it's over. That the editing process sounds like hell to me. I don't know
Yeah,
if I could
well,
do something like that.
a lot of
So,
it
but that's
was my
cool that you were
fault.
able to do it.
Yeah, I documented too much. I was like, oh, I'll
Gotcha.
film this because what if something interesting happens and I miss it? But nothing interesting happens. And then you got like all this footage in your timeline. Like, do I cut it? And it's like, I did it all. Oh yeah, I better cut it out. And then you like, yeah, it's crazy. I had so much video content. It's mental.
Well, and it's a little bit different because when we're making content for social media and stuff, half the time we're making content for other knife makers. I mean,
Right.
yeah, we're trying to get our names out there, but let's face it, most of the people that follow us are other knife makers.
Yeah.
Whereas you're trying to create something that's appealing and digestible to the average consumer on
Mhm.
TV, which is a lot different than if you're making it for a knife maker.
Yeah. 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 And that's where doing a lot of voiceover helped out. So if I was I have a sequence on screen, and then I could record using my microphone saying what I'm doing. So here I'm forge welding and blah 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 blah. If oxygen gets between layers, it could fail. Oh no.
During the tempering process, the steel relaxes.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like putting it into a spa.
Ah.
Yeah, so
Now that the steel's nice and relaxed, we're going to take it out and massage it.
yeah, yeah. And then just picking music. Damn. I usually go with like, I don't know, like glitch hip hop kind of stuff for my YouTube. And here I was like, it's just not right for like the everyday consumer of television. So I went more with like, I don't know, not bluegrass, but like kind of country-esque kind of tunes that are just a little bit friendlier for everyone. So, but it worked out great. I'm super stoked. I'm looking forward to it being released and not thinking about it too much.
Nice. So we have a lot of American listeners. I'm sure we have some Canadians, but for those in the States, after those air on Canadian TV, are they going to be available through any sort of streaming service or anything like that?
Oh, I'd love to. They have exclusivity for 6 months, and then I can do with it whatever I want, which is like pretty damn amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So 6 months down the line, you'll be able to either market it or sell it however you want.
Like ideally in the next month, I'll start, I don't know, poking a few people out there, networks, or I don't know. My mom said, put it on Netflix. And you're like, sure, Mom. Let me call them up and see if they want it. But that's a big far out dream, but like it'd be great if someone picked it up. It'd be like it's not in standard 23 minutes plus commercial format, so it doesn't have that for it. But some form of streaming service would be awesome to have it. Yeah, I'd like to be able to collect a bit of money on the back end of it too. So
Amazon Prime picks up small projects and then makes you like have to pay a paywall. Like if you want to watch it, it's like $2 or $3, whatever it is.
Yeah, my other documentary is on there. So in the US and Canada, because of the broadcast rights, they couldn't show it in Canada, which is totally dumb. But yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we're looking forward to that for you, and we're excited for you, and hopefully we'll be able to see it at some point.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Definitely. Solid.
Right on, guys. Do we want to call that a show?
I think we probably oughta.
Kulukuku?
No.
Is that how you do it? No, Lando tried getting us to do it when Jason was on, and it was not good.
Nice.
What is
Never
it?
seen Bob and Doug. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's
is
like
that how you do it?
Yeah, it's cool.
There you go. Okay, we'll leave it up to you to do that.
All right.
Have a great week, eh?
Okay.
Bye.